Hey, welcome to Dibs on Blue. I'm Stephanie, and this is my sign name. Today, I want to show how to play this game, Megaland. Thank you to my patrons and to the publisher, Red Raven Games, for sponsoring this video. You can play with 2 to 5 players, and it takes around 20 minutes to play. In this game, you want to search levels in order to collect treasure, which are used to buy buildings, which earn you coins. Whoever earns the most coins wins the game. To set up, locate all of the 6 different star building cards and put them in the center of the table in their corresponding stacks. 1 all the way through 6. The game includes 17 types of normal building cards, but you only use 7 for the game. Which ones you use are entirely up to you, but you want a nice range of costs. You don't want to use many buildings of the same costs. Shuffle the level cards in a face-down deck. Place the level tile face up near the level cards. Set the heart tokens, the heart cost card, jump tokens, and coins on the table as the general supply. Shuffle the treasure cards in a face-down deck. Each player needs 1 of the character cards and a character of your choice. Place 4 heart tokens on the left area of the character card. Then decide who goes first. You can choose or decide by making the first player the person who most recently played a video game. That player needs the first player marker. And now you're ready to play. The game is played in rounds, and in each round, there are 3 phases. The first thing to do is run the level. So this means placing your character on the level tile. Then you draw a treasure and put it face up above your character card. You're not really taking turns here. You can all just do this at the same time. Place the character and draw a treasure. Now, the first player draws a level card and places it face up near the level tile. If the card has a treasure box, all players draw 1 more treasure, placing it face up above the character card. But if the card has skulls on it, characters get injured. You have to move a heart to the injured side of your character card. So for example, if the card had 2 skulls on it, you must move 2 hearts over to the injured area of your character card. If all of your hearts end up on the injured side, your character has fallen. In this case, you lose all of the treasure you collected, discarding it to a shared discard pile. Take your character back as well. And that concludes your character falling. Let's say your character is still in the level and hasn't fallen yet. Once the level card has been resolved, you have to decide if you want to stay in the level or go home. Going home means removing your character from the level, and any treasure you've collected thus far is now safe and can be moved below your character card. Once you go home, you can't be injured anymore. You can't collect treasure anymore, and you can't lose your treasure anymore. Going home secures your safety. But let's say you decide to stay in the level. In this case, draw another treasure and flip over another level card. See what the level card has in store and resolve the card, and this continues on and on until the level tile doesn't have any characters remaining and all of them are home. Then you move to the second phase, buying buildings and hearts. The first player starts, and then play continues in a clockwise direction. In this phase, players can buy buildings and more hearts. The rulebook explains all of the different buildings, should you ever not understand one of the cards and need clarification. When buying buildings, there is no limit to how many you can buy. However, within the same buying phase, you can't buy more than one of the same type. For example, you can't buy 2 cafe cards at this point, but you can buy 1 cafe now, and then later, when it's the buying phase again, you can buy another cafe. To buy a building, you must pay the cost in treasure, but the treasure you pay must be unique. For instance, to buy the cafe, you would need to pay 2 different types of treasure. Maybe 1 egg and 1 carrot. This number here refers to how many of that specific treasure card the game includes. To pay your treasure, discard it to the shared discard pile. Then, take the building card and place it near you. Some buildings need to be resolved immediately. For example, the cafe means that once you buy it, you earn 2 coins. This is only a one-time action. In this example, buying the gym means you earn 1 coin and 2 jump tokens. So let's learn about jump tokens. In the first phase, where you're running the level, let's say your character is in the level. Before drawing the level card, if you have a jump token, you can pay the token by putting it back in the general supply. Then the level card is drawn. If the card has the jump symbol, like this, then you got lucky. You cannot be injured because you jumped. But you must pay the jump token before drawing the level card. Then you won't get hurt. If you pay a jump token, but the level card drawn doesn't have the jump symbol, oh well. You already paid the jump token and can't get it back. In this example, the rabbit, if you paid a jump token, you wouldn't get hurt. But this information right here means that you can exchange 3 carrots for 3 treasures. So, you can discard 3 carrots to the shared discard pile, and then draw 3 new treasure cards. If the rabbit injures you and causes you to fall, you're not allowed to do an exchange. But if you paid a jump token and the rabbit is drawn, you're not injured, but you can still opt to do the exchange if you want to. These are all of the level cards in the game. Your player card shows how many of each type the game includes. For instance, 3 cards will cause 1 injury. 1 card will cause 3 injuries, and so on. Anyway, some building cards are resolved more than once. For example, when you buy the hotel, you earn 5 coins as a one-time occurrence. But you earn 2 coins each time you buy a heart from that point on. To buy more hearts, you must pay treasure, but this time you must pay treasure of the same type. For example, to buy a 5th heart, maybe you would pay 2 eggs. Then you would take a heart from the general supply and add it to your character card. To buy your 6th heart, maybe you would pay 3 carrots, then take another heart for yourself, and so on. Just so you know, should you ever run out of treasure cards when drawing treasure in the game, just take the discard pile and give it a shuffle to become the new treasure deck. Once everyone has finished buying, you move to the night phase. Any treasure you have remaining must be discarded. However, you can opt to keep a treasure by storing it in the basement of one of your buildings. Place the treasure you want to keep below the building card. You can use the treasure to buy something or discard it and replace it with a new one you've collected. Each building can only house one treasure. Any other treasure you have remaining after that must be discarded. If a building in your possession has the moon symbol, that action happens during this night phase. In this example, the lodge, you collect 2 coins during this phase, and any time the night phase happens in the future. Next, move all of your hearts back to the left side of your character card. You're all better now. Shuffle the played level cards with the unplayed level cards to form a new level deck. Check to see if anyone has at least 20 coins. In that case, the game would end. All players count up their coins and whoever has the most wins. But if no one has 20 coins yet, play continues by giving the first player marker to the next player, and a new round begins by returning to phase 1. If there's a tie, the tied player with the most remaining treasure wins. If there's still a tie, the tied players add up the costs of all of the buildings in their possession, and the player with the highest value wins. If there's still a tie, the tied players share the win. Well, that's it for explaining Megaland. If you've enjoyed watching, subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Dibs On Blue Games. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I will gladly respond. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.